So right now you can play as Pup Patrol Cerberus, and I really like dogs, so we're going to go over his lore, his backstory, everything you need to know about him, and all of that good jazz. So, one thing that you'll find when you finally get to play around with Pup Patrol Cerberus and hear some of the lines is that he's bursting with energy. Like, almost everything he seems to do or say, he's just possessed by this indomitable spirit of just having fun, being a goofy little dog, your best friend in game. I'm definitely getting some vibes along the lines of, certain animated dogs, i.e. things along the lines of Doug or Bolt. We'll get to that in just a second, but like Doug or Bolt, I get the sense that he can't actually communicate with some of the gods, perhaps. I'm sure that perhaps maybe Anubis or Fenrir, or if he was able to meet up with Cerberus while Cerberus isn't using his skin, those three dogs might be able to speak some sort of dog with Pup Patrol Cerberus, but for the rest of the cast, I'm guessing it's more akin to what you get when you equip the Donkey Kong Raijin skin, i.e. Donkey Kong just speaks a lot of gibberish and animal noises, and the only way you know what he's saying is the fact that it's told to you via the VGS system exactly what he said. Well, maybe not exactly whatever it is that he said, but the actual meaning of what it is that he said. Didn't really pick up on this at first until I heard the tower killing and some of the other objective lines.
Uh-oh! Did I do that?
These lines really showcase that Pup Patrol might not necessarily be fully aware of what he's doing. There might be a bit of a misunderstanding in what he's actually doing. But he just thinks the entire thing's a massive game, which is all well and good. But also, it's a really nice touch on Hi-Rez's part, because it kind of gives us that sense that, he's our dog. Though I suppose for the player actually playing, you're the team's god. But I suppose that brings in a fairly fun question for you guys. When you actually play this game, do you see yourselves as genuinely being these characters when you boot into the game, or do you more feel like you're controlling these characters? I think you can see where I'm going with this. If you feel like you're controlling these characters, then I suppose Pup Cerberus can be another virtual friend for you, I suppose. Man's best friend. If not, then you are a dog yourself, which I suppose is incredible to think about, but then, Battlegrounds of the Gods, I suppose. Any amazing thing that you could possibly think about to do with this game, kind of overshadowed by the Battlegrounds of the Gods. So when it comes to the gods actually being able to communicate with the Cerberus, and I'm sure, besides just the dog gods as well, I'm sure there are other gods that would be able to communicate with this dog. But then characters like Cuchulainn and Hercules probably won't have that level of understanding or communication with the dog. I mean, Cuchulainn ended up having to wrestle a dog to its death, partially because they couldn't communicate. I don't think Hercules did much communicating when he actually got Cerberus to leave the underworld one way or another and bring him before a king. Then characters like, say, Artemis, who are attuned to nature, might have the ability to communicate with animals, or at least interact with them on a deeper level than some of the other gods. I'm just throwing out spitballs here, but hey, characters who have pets like Koldir and Suku, Wheelix and Guardy, they can just naturally have a back and forth conversation with their pets. So, maybe it's just a Smite thing. Now we're going to jump into some headcanon style stuff here. See, I missed the patch notes show for this skin, so I don't know if it was given a backstory or anything, but only one of the dog's necks has a collar around it. The other two have some sort of scarf, cloth, whatever you want to call it. And the snake got left out, it's kind of just there. So it probably means that the dog has an owner. Could that owner be the fourth skin? After all, they are part of the same chest that you can buy in-game. Or perhaps we the player are the owner. Or maybe the reason the dog is so happy and so jumpy and so willing to play is because, well, he's really desperate for an owner, someone he can rely on, who can feed him, so keep a roof over his head, all the good stuff. Then again, judging from the overall cheerful nature of all of the voice lines, I'm guessing that he probably knows his owner and is not in search for one, and I'm just being unnecessarily edgy for the sake of being edgy. And now the most important aspect of this skin. Chewy. Chewy is the name of the snaky tail because it's actually a separate part of the god. You have the 3 dog heads, and that's Pup Patrol, and then you have the tail, being Chewy. Now, the only reason why I think Chewy is a separate being with his own thoughts and all of that sort of thing is because of the way he refers to Chewy and one of his voice lines, or one of his lines.
Get him, Chewie!
Now we have one of the other selling points of the skin besides the skin itself, that being the special emote, and if you actually care to press VXG, Cerberus gets a sit-down emote at first, but you can actually move around and drag his bottom on the floor. Now, as cute as this may look, and I'm no medical expert by any means, but I did some looking, and apparently when dogs do this, it's actually not a very good sign for the dog. Usually it's in response to some sort of irritation, and they should probably get some medical help from a veterinarian or someone who can help put dogs back into the right shape. Now, when you manage to defeat this Cerberus Pup Patrol in battle, he'll scream about not wanting to go to the vet.
Not the vet! Please, not the vet!
So in a way, I suppose you could justify killing the cute puppy because you're actually helping him, so you can get his body nice and fixed, and then he won't have that irritation down there. So you're really doing him a favor in a sense. Unless he has to go through the underworld to leave the battlefield of gods, in which case you're really not doing him any favors. But hey, I sort of made you feel better about that whole thing for a few seconds, right? Good, then my work is done. I almost forgot to go back to the whole Bolt and other dog references. Well, Bolt is thanks to the fact that both Pup Patrol and Bolt's fur are both white, and the other dog and Bolt both react a certain way when they're shown a toy. Bolt, it's his chew toy, and Doug, it's a tennis ball that's used to try and get Doug away from the old man and the kid. I forget their names, but yeah, references. So yes, that was more or less the video on this skin. Have you gotten it ready? Do you like it? Do you agree that it's probably the best skin Hi-Rez has put out? It's a shame that it's in a chest. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a like and all that good jazz. And until the next video, have a very good day. I have been Prime, and I'll see you guys in the next one.